government, you pretty much give up your rights, you can have access to all my data.
Well, as UCMJ says, officer
That's why I
and
don't have
county, right, those two things, so.
No, but I mean, like, there is no
Yeah.
email I can set from my government that they don't have access to,
Absolutely.
even if it's just to my family. I mean, that's.
But
that's
even
what
if
I
you think about all these other events, forget government, on the kids that are protecting kids, you know, they have this behavior. And
Oh,
you
for
see
sure.
the behavior online, and from a predictive perspective, you know, what rights, and that's an interesting debate we're now
That's what we're getting
getting
into now, is your Twitter that you post.
Yeah.
Well, so,
If it's public.
believe it or not.
If it's public, yeah.
Yeah.
If it's public, they
Yeah.
have no rights.
You're correct.
But it depends if there's
And
sanctions on
actually-
the account as well too.
I
But,
mean, there's,
I mean,
there's so much stuff.
As an IP manager, just so you know, the person's right who writes to Twitter aren't an issue, it's Twitter's rights.
Well, it's actually even state by state, I mean, so we looked
Yeah, well-
at this earlier, because it depends on minorities,
But the EULA you sign for
Yeah,
Twitter, says
data,
that content goes to them.
privacy officer by state, by the federal statutes, and how you're doing. I mean, I spent a lot of my 11 years doing all of this stuff, and my brain would just explode, because, you know, you try to get one piece of data, and can't get it, the state doesn't allow it. What?
I know.
What do you mean? It's available, no, you can't touch it. State laws protect it. Oh, okay, what do you do? Then you gotta file a
But we
privacy
don't,
impact assessment.
we don't have to be, actually, that's one thing we stay away from, because we do screen scrapes of text elements, so we don't have any responsibility for what the source was. It's out there.
Like even for employees, right, so we were looking at it, we had people, any company, a small company, but we had people actually looking at, you know, profiles, somebody would post, and usually people report. Somebody will come up and say, hey, did you know this guy posted, or this person said something about the company, and if it's public, you go look at it, but their rights are protected from the labor industry, I believe, and a certain amount of that data. And, you know, we had cases where people were, yeah, I work for the DOD, I'm on a secret project, and I wish I could have shown some of the stuff.
Individual
Like, I was-
taxes.
Seriously?
We
You're the
have,
front parking lot, what are you doing that for? God.
we have expended a certain amount of legal fees in this area, and
I
one
mean,
thing
it
is,
was stupid stuff.
one of the things one of the things that's material is that while the state law protects what a person said or did, it does not protect the truth of it. So, if you go and you treat it as text, and you have two competing pieces of text, irregardless of source, and irrespective that you don't act on it without third-party consent or do something, you can report the fact that that anomaly exists. That's the issue. And you collect enough of those anomalies, and you have a pattern. And then you have a pattern that speaks to a character.
Right, so I think where you could have some really cool stuff in this other thing, so fraud, I don't think detecting fraud, I don't know the laws, but I don't think they're well protected when you are looking, because I know even the elements today on fraud, they are companies that are creating networks. And what they do is they monitor your credit card or your activity once you're in the system, right? There's all that data available, so then they'll start to monitor that behavior of yours and try to see if you're timely on payment and how many accounts are you opening. So the first time when you're in, they can't catch you. It's like 90 days later, they're gonna say, well, this behavior really is suspect. And now you've got, yeah.
There's something you should be aware of, though. I talked down to I shouldn't do it. Right. In the credit collection business, the people are most likely to apply to a loan at the moment they're least likely to be able to repay it back. This is a phenomenon that's well known in the credit industry. Typically, when you go buy a loan for a house, it's obvious because you can't afford the house yourself, right? And it's obviously that prior to this point in time, no one entrusted you with that amount of debt. Obviously, you didn't have equity either, but no one entrusted you to that point with that amount of debt. We're talking about new product, right? So you're at this crux of, now you are free in game to go back historically over time and look at all of the screen scraping you get from the internet or whatever, because you're gonna know that person's character better at that point in time. When they're in trouble or when they're desperate for something or highly motivated to do something is when they're most expressive of their true nature. And if you take what they did 24 hours before they made that loan application, if they went out and got, and this happens all the time, if they went out and got because they needed to put the earnest money for the house, right? If they went out and got a pay-to-you loan, right? You know something about that person that's locked down that will be in their character from that day forward. Right? But you don't, if you capture it after the fact, you may not be admissible, may not be useful, you already get the loan, right? So the action items for recalling loan or repossession are very strict. But the action items for looking at everything you can at the moment the application is made, in terms of all the behavior and stuff, like that's fair game. All of that is open, it's all in the public domain. So the reason I get into this is plagiarism. I wrote an application, I thought there would be some restriction, but it's perfectly permissible for any employer in any state of the union to do a background investigation to see if someone has plagiarized anything they've ever written.
Interesting. I don't want us to get into the weeds.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
No, I appreciate that. Well, that's good. And I wrote a requirements document, kind of like on the comment, I'll bring a picture, I'll send it to you. I got a bunch of people looking at it now, right? But that's kind of like the long term, one of the long term projects. I want to focus on the media, right? Which is we'll talk a little bit about AMUmail. So I appreciate it going through everything today. It was really great. You gave us a lot of information, but it's kind of hard to fully grasp it just seeing the demo talking about it, which is why I'd like you guys to send it to us. And I'd actually like to act like I'm actually just an end user buying it. Like I actually want to go through how I'm buying it and actually see how easy it is for me to install it and actually start using it. I really want to test that because as we talked about, I think one of the keys is how easy is it to use. So just a couple of really quick questions. I mean, you talked about kind of it's all you right now. What additional work needs to be done to the program?
Well, yeah, these are essentially, we're a startup, right? So the idea that we would have come here with a fully prepared application is probably it's not something we can satisfy. We can satisfy a demo in the sense that we can tailor it to a specific audience and present it for your use and stuff in certain contained environments, certain constraints. A set of behaviors and stuff that satisfy what we need. That we can do. We can do it on several fronts. But we don't have all the bells and whistles to put in defense against somebody that, particularly a non-technical user, put in their hands because they're going to screw it up because we just have certain assumptions about, we assume they're not going to put it on a Linux box, we assume they're not going to do certain things, and they're going to do those things. We assume their damn environment doesn't have 50 viruses on it. One of the problems we have is we can't send out the Outlook environment
the operating system every time when you put sensitive
you
stuff.
can't get add-in express and they just install on a thing on half these environments because first of all, the guy's added 50 intersecting, of course. He's got Defender on. He's got Symantec going. He got his free Norton that he got. It's a different version, right? All running on this damn machine. And he's got, every one will have we haven't been on a machine yet that doesn't have 100 spyware bots on it. We haven't. So you got all these things consuming bandwidth or looking on. So you've seen all this activity. One of the problems we have, as I alluded to before, we look at the activity on the machine. Some of this stuff may not be the user's fault. There may be activity that's going on because Microsoft's updating something or because the user has some bot that's capturing every damn keystroke and stuff like that. Now it's problematic, we still want server shut down for it, but how do we tell the user that, the unexperienced user? So that's one of the problems we have. But so right now we have certain core modules because they're shared across different things are fairly well developed. As far as the proving, as far as somebody looking, if they're willing to look at source code, we have no question we can do what we say to do. So that's one side of it. On the user front,
Is that the only thing that's missing is the user experience? The rest of it is done?
User experience, no.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah, so like,
You
if
say-
you had to give me 5 things for a roadmap to take you from right here to be able to
yeah,
just sell.
we have to have a website that where we get the first thing we need is this.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
We gotta go to the website and we've gotta get the user logged in through our experience to get him into the audit trail system and get him authenticating these and are getting these buildings and the rights to build ambulance. That's the first thing. We've got to get the editor
Hold on,
online.
I'm going really
Yeah,
slow.
too.
Don't
I didn't realize you-
lose me. Hold on.
You should have a document written up on how to do that. I presume what you were just talking about is, let's go through these steps to get it done.
But no, this is really good. So I think the website, need a website. I want to make sure I'm really specific.
For 2 purposes. Website to the initial thing that we're selling as a company, independent of what your interest may be, but what we're selling is those rights to create ambulance. That's
Right.
our only.
Yeah, only talk about AMUmail and anything. Okay.
Okay, so we need a website so where they can log on and we get the information, get the payments changed, know who they are, to do that, okay. In contingent with that, we need the editor that we have is a desktop, old NFC style, whatever, very complicated, whatever. We have to get to have a consistent user interface across any device. We've got to get that on a website. Everything about that's secure because all the outputs are in ciphers.
Consistent user
and-
interface. Yeah, across all the platforms, basically.
Of course, yeah, so they go to one website from whatever device, use our web or in situ, and do their thing. They get one consistent set of images back, which they download and bring on whatever device they want to. And then life starts getting really nice for us. We can slap together, some of the things will be desktop, some will be from there on in, but the user interface, then we get to then that's the only thing blocking us, right? Is the fact that we have the core technologies, how do you want them framed up in these user applications? So we just need GUIs for those, because most of our
GUIs?
technology, GUI, graphical user interfaces.
How it looks.
Okay.
How it looks,
Yeah,
looks,
right.
feels, sorry.
Very technical.
Okay, trying to keep up on those.
Oh, exactly.
It's what the user sees, it's the warm fuzz that the guy
That I
sees.
got, as soon as, yeah, okay, yeah, which is really critical, I mean, and there's professionals that know, you know, and can.
You hire
opinions on
designers
that.
and stuff to
Exactly,
do that,
yeah.
they're not that expensive.
Yeah.
They can get that.
So, what will that take on your end and how much time?
Basically, we don't have the skills in-house for the website, we have some skills, we're looking at out systems.
Okay.
As a conveyance, which we think might work. But this is just your man hours. That enter you're looking at, there's 850,000 lines of code, so you know, because it can do so many things. So-
Okay.
Okay, so the issue there becomes to port it over, of course, all the brainwork's been done, so it's just a matter of porting it. But if anybody's ever trying to port from a desktop to a web interface, we can tell you a very complicated thing. So essentially, I think we're looking at a talented, it'd be nice if the out system specific, but we're looking at probably an honest 3 months of a good, let's say 2 developers time for 3 months.
Okay.
And then 6 months to something we would be proud of, and a consistent development environment after that, to keep it consistent. The new devices come up and you have all these formatting and layout issues.
But I know the question you're asking, I would say, would you have a plan ready to go to MVP to market, all the different things you
It
have?
depends, we get this all the time, and I never know what to do.
All investors will ask you that. 'cause
No,
they
no,
don't
I
know.
understood. And the thing is that to ask, again, it's not, I'm not saying it's kind of, but at this point in our lives, we can do anything with nothing. And if somebody tells us what the end game is, we can do that. What we can't do is serve everybody's interests at one time. So
Right.
we
I
need
do get
differentiation.
that.